Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an absolutely electrifying GCL Round 1 stage here in Valkenswaard. This is GCTV. My name is Mark Lewis, and it is time for us to take a look at some of the major turning points, some of the major moments of what took place today in that opening round. So often do you consider that GCL Round 2 is the defining moment because it dictates who will win what stage, who will take away championship points. But let me tell you, I can't recall the last time that we've seen a stage this definitive, so many moments to come out of just GCL Round 1. It is remarkable to see how the top four has been impacted by this performance, how the championship battle has been impacted by this performance, and we'll unpack it all for you here on GCTV. Let's show you then the standings for now as to how things sit at the end of GCL Round 1. New York Empire, powered by Lugano Diamonds, are the best placed team. They will be the final team to go with the best double clear of the lot. They find themselves ahead of Contenders on a clear and ahead of Riesenbeck International on clear. But this is what the virtual standings will look like. And this is an important page to look at here. This is the virtual rankings that if things were to end right now, what the new championship standings would look like. The Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, who find themselves on 45 penalties in round 1, would finish in last place and take home the minimum 8 points. So they would only move to 236. Riesenbeck International, if they were to finish in third place, will jump up to third with 25 points. And if Contenders, currently in second, were to take home 25 stage points, then on a virtual ranking they would jump up to 275. And excuse my maths, I think that is 39 points. They would be 39 points clear of the Stockholm Hearts with just 2 stages to go, and the Hearts would need to overtake 20 points per stage to see the victory. And Fredrik de Backer and I will tell you about just how impossible a task that is going to be. There is still a second round of GCL jumping to come. So fences may well fall in the second round for the Contenders. So they might well see themselves finish slightly lower than where they are now. But either way, that dramatic double refusal from Nicola Philippots and Jessica Springsteen at that gate has arguably, many would believe, put one hand on the trophy for the Contenders, powered by the Iron Dames already. Speaking of the team, let's show you then the round of Sophie Hinners, at least to start. She was the first of the 2 Contenders riders to make their way out into the giant grass ring here at the Longines Tops International Arena. Sophie Hinners, as we mentioned, a very talented rider, strong member of the team as well. Now, jumping Special Life. We saw quite a few younger horses being selected today in GCL Round 1, and it was no different for the Contenders. Sophie Hinners and Special Life jumping clear. Still just 10 years of age, setting it up beautifully for her teammate, for her fellow rider, Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann, who, once again, seeing a younger horse come in, and Cornella goes on to jump a clear, keep the Contenders on double clear, and as we said, guarantee them what seems to be a lot of championship points from this stage. We caught up with Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann after her round.
Jana, there really is no stopping this team.
Hopefully not, but yeah, never celebrate too early. You never know, but hopefully not.
Your horse jumped so beautifully in there. It looked like there were a few hairy moments. You really had to work for that clear.
Yeah, I mean, she's like super careful and she goes for it. She's a fighter. It's own breeding, so I know her since she was a baby. But also she's a little bit cornered Obolensky, so she likes to decide for own a little bit. And I'm like, wait, I know the course, I walked it, please, can you wait for me? And so you have to do a compromise sometimes. Also for her, it's not every weekend that I jump her so big. But yeah, she's an amazing mare. We already have 3 offsprings out of her, and we are like super proud to have her.
Oh, she's amazing. And Sophie went in there to start with and started it off with a fantastic clear. You weren't the fastest team, though. Was that sort of a talk before the round 1? Is actually, we need some clears rather than speed?
No, I think for us it was important to have clear rounds. I mean, of course, you try to be smooth in time, but I think first the clear is most important.
The championship, let's talk about it. I know you said don't go too early on this, but it is just in touching point now.
Yeah, I mean, step by step, we talked about that. Always something can happen, and that's also something that's interesting in this sport. And we haven't booked the success. We also have to concentrate every round, have to give our very best, but we are in good shape, and yeah, we try to keep the form.
Determined as ever. You've also got the whole team here this weekend. You've got Deborah here. I know you've got your family here as well. Having that support around you must be a big boost.
It is. I mean, that's amazing. We are like a big family. And it's a great support from behind. And even if one round is not perfect, still we have the great support. But out of this, you can go really with good trust in the ring. I mean, I think we are really confident about it.
Massive good luck for round 2.
Thank you.
I like the way that Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann is keeping her feet firmly on the ground. She knows that the team is performing well. She knows that they have taken a major step towards the overall championship win. Yet she still has the humility to say that it's step by step. We are doing this stage by stage, leg by leg, round by round. And they slowly but very, very confidently continue to chip away at this overall championship lead as the Kunststars, powered by the Iron Dames, get closer and closer and closer. Now, Riesenbeck International, powered by Kingsland Equestrian, they too have had a very successful opening GCL round and could do themselves a lot of favours in the overall top 4 fight here after a very good round. A double clear from both riders, Philipp Schulze-Tophoff and Philipp Weishout, both jumping clear. For now, though, let's start you off with the round of Philipp Weishout. Again, it's been a very, very good summer for Philipp Weishout, very successful summer, and now he returns to the Global Champions League. And once again, we see this outstanding pairing of Weishout and Kobe. Now 14 years of age already. Philipp Weishout, after the round of Philipp Schulze-Tophoff, who we'll show you in a moment, goes on to jump a clear to keep Riesenbeck International on double clear. And after seeing faults and penalties for Valkenswaard United, for the Prague Lions and for Doha Falcons, this is a very big moment for Riesenbeck International from an overall top 4 fight. Now, speaking of his teammate, Philipp Schulze-Tophoff, who goes on to jump clear as well on Karla, we caught up with him to get some thoughts and perspective on the round.
Philipp, in a weekend that Riesenbeck really needed to come back fighting, round 1 has started pretty well.
Yes, you're right. Round went really well. We have to come back. I think we need a podium more than before. And yeah, we set the base, and now we have to continue like that.
You were following Kunststars as well, who came in and did a double clear, and then you two came in and did a double clear. Did you watch them before you went in?
Oh, I didn't really watch, but I noticed the result. Christian was next to me in the entrance and told me, oh, they know, and double clear. And I was like, yeah, okay, if we want to have a chance, we also have to get double clear. Every fault is a fault too much. So, yeah, we tried to, and we made it.
Talking of the top 4, you are currently lying in 4th at the moment, but there are teams chasing you. How important is it now, more than ever before, to do well?
I think we have to do well. I think we have the stage here in Valkenswaard and next week in Rome, and then only the final stage. So, yeah, it's more than only important to perform really well.
Round 2 then, who's coming in? Is it the same team?
No changes.
No changes. Oh, there we go. No changes for the team for Riesenbeck. Good luck.
Thank you.
A very important round from the boys of Riesenbeck International, powered by Kingsland Equestrian. From a top 4 perspective, penalties for Doha Falcons, penalties for Valkenswaard United, penalties for Prague Lions. So all of a sudden, that double clear of Riesenbeck with GCL round 2 to come, of course, still. But that may well prove to be very good for Riesenbeck. Based on virtual standings, they could jump as high as 3rd if they were to finish as things are now. What a blessing to have Fredrik de Backer live with us on site. We bring him into the studio immediately to get some reaction to Fredrik de Backer. I said earlier on that normally GCL round 2 is the round that everyone looks at because it's the definitive moment. I can't recall a round 1 seemingly being so definitive as it was today. 2 major topics, championship and top 4. Pick which one you want to start at. I'll go to either.
The story is, of course, what has happened to Stockholm Hearts.
How is it that both riders on the same fence? Simply impossible, right? Remarkable.
No explanation for it. You can say, okay, that horse looks at it, a young horse, a 9-year-old like Cayman, that's possible. 17-year-old Don Vito also had a look at it, and he's jumped that fence so many times. But that the horse runs out and it takes so long to come back, that's one thing. That then Philippaerts has the same thing with a horse that has jumped all over the world with Derby de Riverland. It's inexplicable, truly inexplicable, but the impact is also, you cannot underestimate the impact.
The rule of Global Champions League, you and I have always said, is not just to do well, but it's to make the most of when your rivals do not perform well. For them to come out on 45, whatever it was, Canstars could have been forgiven for maybe taking their eye off the ball, having a few fences down, knowing that they simply had to finish above them. The ice in the veins from Sophie Hinners and for Jana Frederica Meyer-Zimmerman to jump a double clear. Talk to me about the mental strength for them to deliver that today, knowing what their team rivals had done.
They will have seen that, and it's going to be an enormous relief because people will have told them. But I think, and I really wonder, what Stefano Nogara has told them in the warm-up. You know, stay focused. It's really important to, at that point, stay focused because they also have young and inexperienced horses.
What a response.
Just happened the exact same thing. So to then stay focused and keep around the ball, that's professionalism. And then in the end, that you're focused and you still have one down, that's possible. But to drop the focus and to ride loosely and casually and then get faulted, that would have been also unforgivable the way it happened to Stockholm Hearts. So it's a really professional job. Again, I think I used the word the hit job. Hitman?
Yeah, hitman.
It's a little bit the same, you know. It has to happen now. Okay, boom, deliver. One bullet, you've got one chance. And they're not there yet because I'm a little bit too excited. There's still a second round to jump. But this is crucial, Mark. This is pivotal. We're going to talk about this stage.
Let me give you some insights. In a lot of our Zooms and a lot of our online video calls Frederick and I have, I'm often the one that says, Frederick, I don't know if I'm being too dramatic, but... And he often is the one that pulls me back and says, yes, you are. That's some inside information. Am I being too dramatic now to say one hand is on the title, put the champagne on ice in Rome? Because if I look at the virtual rankings now, I think they're almost 40 points clear. It will take something absolutely outrageous for them to lose it here for once in our lives. Am I not being dramatic by saying it's a done and dusted story?
You have to think about what has to go wrong for them to lose it. From now on, they can only lose it. Stockholm Hearts are losing it here. Canstars are not winning it here. And Canstars can from now on only lose it. But what has to go wrong? They have to be eliminated in round 1, for example, in Rome. And then...
There's still so much work to be done.
And still Stockholm needs to win that stage.
Yeah.
And okay, we're not done yet. They still have to jump those that second round. And maybe they don't win it here. And maybe they don't even podium here. But they're going to make... Well, they're going to extend their lead by at least 15 points to something like 37. And over the next 2 stages to go, it's only a 44-point split, the difference that you can make. So it's going to be very difficult
we already
not to win it.
We already described 8 points per stage being a mountain to climb for 3 stages in a row. Wherever it goes to from here, it does become somewhat mission impossible for Stockholm Hearts. And as Frederick says, there is still a second round to come. Can drop the ball slightly, but as long as they don't finish second to last, they will do themselves a massive boost by getting ahead of their rivals. I mentioned the top 4 very briefly. Riesenbeck International now taking a really good stride in that as well. Not terrible day for someone like Prague Lions in particular, but back to the GCL story, those around Riesenbeck have opened up the door.
So imagine that that top 4 does not, the top 3 doesn't change here at the standings, here at the stage. That will put Riesenbeck on the podium, and so they will increase their position. They will leapfrog Doha.
Correct.
And they might even leapfrog Stockholm.
I think we do have virtual rankings, actually. You might be very right. If we have virtual rankings, let's please bring it up. Continue, by the way, because you're right. If they were to finish on their 21 points now, they would move into 3rd place. I think Cannes, based on their position now, would obviously strengthen, as we said, the overall standings. This is a virtual ranking if things were to end now. Prague still knocking on the door. Doha drop. Riesenbeck really come out of this very strong, don't they?
I mean, Prague only 5 points then of that fourth place, so that battle is going to continue right into Rome and into Rabat. Riesenbeck all of a sudden becoming contenders for second place after actually following Rome, fearing for their fourth place. That's a huge jump for Riesenbeck. And don't forget, that is based on a third place finish.
True. Would we grey out either Valkenswaard or Prague? Still too early.
Still too early.
Still too early.
Crazy enough, still too early. We've grayed out a lot of teams that sit behind them, Madrid, Rome and all those, but it's still too early to call them out, because what is the difference there? Valkenswaard based to the fourth place is 7 points.
Yeah.
That's less. That's
3 points a stage.
Than what Prague has now on Riesenbeck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all to play for.
So
this is bizarre.
So what's fantastic about this, if we were to see Kunstars win it in Rome, by the way, it would be the earliest championship victory that we've seen, I think, since 2021, where arguably and quite remarkably since then, every single championship battle has gone down to the very last stage. But wonderfully, this top four fight then, as we're giving you the idea, Riesenbeck, Prague, Valkenswaard, Doha, will continue to have this fight all the way down, at least into Rome, if not arguably all the way through to Rabat. Second round to come a little bit later on this afternoon. I imagine a lot of changes. We don't know them yet. We'll talk about them later. Do you foresee anything remarkably changing in GCL round 2 from what we've seen now? Riesenbeck strong, Cannes strong. New York really good as well. Let's take nothing away from them. That was really nice from Richard Vogel and from Scott Brash.
Third time already that they lead after round 1. Let's hope that they can convert it into a huge point haul, because they sit third last. I've been a fan from them since the very start, but they've never really delivered. I hope that they can really move up. I'm just looking over my shoulder. There is no number on this side of the Staltops gate.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
Does that suggest it's out?
You know, they're jumping it from the other side. It's from the other side into the combination and then to the Tops International auction. So
from the northern side of the arena now, they'll be jumping it basically towards the studio into the double.
It's going to be part of the course, so it's going to be mayhem again.
I almost want you to go do a course walk now. GCL round 2 coming up later on this afternoon. As we said, a definitive stage seemingly for the Kunstars, powered by the Iron Dames. Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M We Love Horses, are in real trouble. And that top 4 battle, Riesenbeck looking very good. But Valkenswaard United, Prague Lions and Doha Falcons will be hoping that the German boys have some fences down to try and level that. More reaction, more build-up for you from GCL round 2 coming up later on this afternoon. This is GCTV. Stay with us for more live from Valkenswaard.
Elegance is an attitude. Of course it is.
Triumph is never given, but earned. The road to the top is packed with obstacles. Success is only achieved by those who can rise above challenges, the ones who can conquer their fears, the ones who are strong enough to continue, the ones who get back in the saddle after failure.
After all that drama, pain and surgery, it's absolutely amazing.
The ones who defy time, the ones who prove their worth.
It's magic at the age of 23.
Show real determination and find the right balance in life. We all face our own obstacles, but dedication and patience leads us to rise above these barriers. Perseverance makes the brilliant legendary.
We are back, and finally this year in 2024, the Global Champions League enters its 8th season.
It's a team championship over 15 stages, with riders of different nationalities competing on each team.
Every team has a team manager who selects a maximum of 6 riders for the season, and they must contain at least one under 25.
Halfway through the season, the transfer window allows the team's manager to change riders on their roster. This year, the transfer window opens after Paris and closes before stage 9 in Stockholm.
A maximum of 3 riders travel with each team to each stage, but only 2 of them can compete at the 2 rounds of GCL.
Between rounds, a manager can swap in a horse or change rider.
The penalties of both riders are added over the 2 rounds, meaning there's no drop score.
In case of a tie on points, the added times from round 2 will be the tiebreaker.
The team that wins the stage will add 30 championship points to its tally.
Teams are battling to finish in the top 4 in the championship, as that takes them straight to the semi-finals of the Global Champions Playoffs this year, held in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
And the team with the most points at the end of the season will be crowned 2024 Global Champions League winners.
Well, mid-season transfers have happened, and one team that have had multiple transfers are Monaco Aces. Lovely to see you all back here in Stockholm. And Philippe, I want to start with you. Reflect on the season. You've been part of the team.
Yes, so this season is amazing. I started in Miami, which was very nice. I got the opportunity to compete there, and I had my family with me, like my brother was in the show and my son. After that, we did Madrid, myself. I decided there to compete just in the team competition, preserve a little bit my mare. I think that is also something which we need to manage because it's a very hard season. And then after Paris, and now I'm here like a training this week with my wife, and then with Inés. So I train from both of those riders, and Mariana, which is the new face we're gonna see in the next in the next competition. I think she started in Riesenbeck.
I was going to say to you, we've got a few new faces in the team now. Yeah. How did you come up with the transfers? How did you decide on them?
I mean, I was there like a rider, like a training, but that decision, it's more from the manager of the team, Philippe. Of course, we spoke a lot together about everything, and I'm really, really optimistic with Edouard. I think he's a great rider. I know him for a while, and many good results in all the season. We have Gregory Cotard, which is good, so it's a little bit very good mix.
Well, also, you've also brought your wife into the team, Celine, who is so fantastic to have you here, Celine, as well. You've never actually been on a Global Champions League team. What's it like so far?
No, actually, I did one global in my life because I got a wild card in Paris in 2019. And I was second on the Grand Prix, so for me it was a really good memories, and I hope this season I can do something and help a little bit the team to get some points, and for me it's a really good opportunity and good experience.
Well, it's great to have you on the team. Edward, such lovely words from Philippe there, so hopeful that you're going to bring something to the team. How have preparations been for this weekend?
We always prepare, I hope, smartly the big shows like the GCT shows. We try to come with horses in the same times ready and fresh.
Monaco Aces, what is the realistic goal for you guys? You're coming into the team, Edward. What would you love the goal to be for the end of the season?
Okay, I think when we just get in a team, we will try to see a little bit step by step how the things are going. What is good is we are all very good friends in and out of the circuit, so even for the decisions, the communication will be pretty easy. We will see how the horses are jumping, how the rider feels. Sometimes it's about results, sometimes it's about feeling. Okay, for sure we will try to be stronger and stronger shows after shows and try to make a very nice second part of season. For sure the horses will give their best and we'll see.
Well, there have been a few transfers during this team, but I think it's a team really based on family and friends, and you can really feel that here right now, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Deborah, it's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for being here. You are the team owner of CanStars, powered by Iron Dames. But for those who don't know, what is Iron Dames?
Iron Dames is a project which was founded in 2018 to promote women active first in motorsport. And since this year, through the CanStars powered by Iron Dames in the equestrian world.
You're incredibly successful in the racing to start with. How did you make the move into show jumping? Did you know much about the GCL?
I knew a bit about the GCL, but first of all, it was an opportunity which came to enter the equestrian world, which is also a world where men and women compete at the same level on equal terms. And it's a very nice, on the more personal level, it's super nice because I have the opportunity to come back to my first passion, which was show jumping. I started competition when I was a child, a young teen. Then life is what it is. You evolve, you do many things, and the opportunity came. So I took it, and I'm happy to be here. Happy to be today in Cannes, which is the home round of the team, and to be with you and with the team here.
How did you go about putting the team together and finding the right riders to make sure that this team was successful?
What is important, what makes the Iron Dames what they are, is the family. It's a family atmosphere. We try to have the best person fitting the spirit of the Iron Dames, and our 6 senior riders, Kim, Sane, Yane, Sophie,
Catherine,
and Natalie, really fit the Iron Dames family and match the Iron Dames attitude. It's all about the team, men and women who make this dream and this passion come true. Iron Dames is not one person, it's one group, one family.
That's such a lovely tagline as well. One group, one family. It's what dreams are made of as well. What are your realistic expectations going forward then? Like I said, the CanStars powered by Iron Dames have been fantastic so far this season. We're around nearly halfway through. What are your realistic expectations for the rest of the season?
We won 2 rounds, Doha and Saint-Tropez. We were very consistent in the other rounds. This year is the first year for us. We'll be there. The goal is to be there for many years to come, and to do it and grow in a proper way. So being consistent, regular, achieving good performance in the best possible way.
In terms of success, then, getting to the end of this season, if I sat with you at the end, what does success look like to you for this season?
Smiles on the face, good results, a positive feeling, the feeling of belonging to a family, to a group which carries passion, which allow dreams to come true, all together as one.
Well, it really is women driven by dreams, but you are at the very heart of that, driving so many dreams for so many women and generations to come as well. And actually, I think it's about time I become an Iron Dame as well. Deborah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's clear. Exactly what you expect from Eni.
Marcus, you're 3 from 3, 100% for the season. How do you feel ahead of this weekend?
Yeah, I feel very positive. The last weeks we made a step forward. It was a very exciting class last week in Madrid. It was very close. I said we were very unlucky in Doha, and we had the luck on our side in Madrid. And we were very happy to win the league in Madrid.
It was a huge leap after Madrid for Valkenswaard United. Was there anything said in the team about that?
Yeah, okay. Jill is an amazing rider. He's still quite young, and John is a legend. So we always hoping for them. But it's not at the end really important that you win the league or the stages. It's more important that you're really consistent over the season and that you have many steps on the podium. So that was a big step for us. And so far all the teams were struggling a bit and were a lot of up and downs. But we hope now that this gives us a real big push for the next shows to be the winner at the end. I have Prix de Rosé and River. They are two quite experienced horses. They had already a couple of rounds on this level, so I'm quite hopeful to help the team Valkenswaard United. I have a Prix de Rosé. Already such a long time, since 4 years old. He's now 13. He's very experienced on this level. He had already a couple of clear rounds in the teams. So so far I'm very hopeful.
What strategy are you going to bring this weekend? What's the plan?
Okay, first of all, if you have 3 riders here, the pressure is not so high that you really have to. But we see after the first day today which horses are in the best shape and maybe which horses we swapped from round 1 to round 2. And then we see what's going on then.
Have you got the horsepower to really have a go at that title this year?
It's very difficult to say. There's not a clear answer. For sure, we have very good riders in the team, and we have also many experienced horses there on this level. But you need also a bit of luck and hope that the horses really stay sound. That we, at the end of the season, still have the horsepower and rider power to be really competitive, to be at least on the podium.
Crosses the finish line in the final round of jumping in Global Champions League.
And Riesenbeck International have won the Super Cup.
We had 2 unbelievable years in the past. We were first team ever winning both last year, the overall and the playoffs. So we knew that was special. We had also lucky moments and had the luck on our side. So I think we have had all our very great last year. Obviously this year will be tough to do what we did last year. Just the amount of wins we had last year and the way we won it was incredible. Things will not get easier the next couple of months. The Olympic Games are coming up. Means there's also some shows we need to do for the team, for the German team. So it will not make it easier. Also last year we were not like things went always good at the show, but we had Lutke breaking his hip, me breaking my foot, Owen McMahon breaking his elbow. All in like less than 2 months, so it was not that things went perfectly smooth last year. But this year everything went wrong what could go wrong. But now I think it's time to make it up. But we need to be very consistent now for the rest of the season, and that's why we started here with the strongest possible horse-rider combinations we have. For sure on the paper we don't have to worry about somebody, and on the paper we are strong. We thought actually we were very strong in Shanghai and we ended up last, so I have to be always careful with that. What happened in Shanghai was obviously with our new under-25 rider, Harry Allen, who is really strong. He was unbelievable in Doha. We were like, wow, this guy is going to make us a lot of clear rounds this year. He just had a bad distance to jump before. The horse got scared, stopped. This is something what should not happen, but happens. This is how our sport is. Schulze Topov is in good form, Christian and myself, so I think we are okay, and we're not really looking for somebody. We really trust Harry Allen. He just had a bad show. He has an incredible horse. He's an incredible talented rider, and this is absolutely not Lutke's way of doing things, that he's changing riders just because they're not performing at the show as good as he was hoping. Madrid is one of my favorite shows. It's very big. It's all traditional ring. I really like to jump here. It's something very special. In the last 2 years, we didn't see so many clear rounds in the Grand Prix. With the horses we have here, we don't have to worry. We have all the horsepower and all the scope in them. The ring makes them perform very good. The horses, they feel it. It's a special show. I have Kobe and Sinade here. I have a very good feeling on him for this weekend. We know we can always trust him, and he has delivered tons of good results in the Global Tour. And I hope for him that he's in good shape. He feels unbelievable. We are here to really make a big step forward and hoping it works out.
Welcome along, everybody, and welcome back to the south of the Netherlands, to the Longines Tops International Arena here in Valkenswaard. This is stage 13 of the 2024 Global Champions League season. My name is Mark Lewis. This is GCTV, and you are joining us at the halfway point of a very dramatic, very telling afternoon in Global Champions League season. As it stands, New York Empire lead on the best of the double clears, but the story goes into the championship fight between the Stockholm Hearts and the Stars, as well as that top four battle. Riesenbeck International now leading that conversation with the teams like Prague Lions, with Doha Falcons, Valkenswaard United, and we will unpack all of those stories for you in a few moments' time. For now, though, let's talk to the leaders. Let's talk about the team that find themselves in the best position going into GCL round 2. They will be last to go, powered by Lugano Diamonds, Richard Vogel and New York Empire standing by alongside Rosie Turner. Let's hear from the leaders.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I've got our leaders alongside of me now. Richard Vogel, just chatting to Sophie Hinners, actually, about the course going into round 2. You just walked it. What do you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's quite a big, more technical and a bit bigger as well. So it's challenging, but everyone knows that going into the Global League, that the second round is obviously more difficult and a bit more tricky. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting class. Hopefully, we can keep it on clear rounds for New York Empire.
Well, tell me a little bit about round 1 then, because in London it was slightly disappointing for the team, but it was a real bounce back today.
Yeah, exactly. Like obviously, London was not what we were aiming for, but that's how our sport is and how it can go. And we were really aiming to make it better here, and so far it goes well. So let's stay focused and keep it up.
And in round 2, it's you, yourself and Scott again jumping, but a change of horses?
Yeah, we both have different horses. Yeah, we have obviously the trust in our horses that they're capable to jump this, and our main focus also is to be good for the team. Dennis is here as well to support us, but we decided that those two horse-rider combinations hopefully can keep it up and be good enough to stand on the podium today.
Has Dennis given you any advice going into the second round?
He was there and watched us both. For sure, Scott is very, very experienced. Yeah, I'm not so long on this level, but I've done one or the other course before also. It's great to have him there. He's very experienced. He can give us all the information we ask for, but he's not someone that, you know, gives you advices without asking or something.
Well, listen, it's great that you are currently on top, but can we see you on top of that podium today? Do you really believe that that can happen?
I think where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely. Listen, we wish you the best of luck. Mark, that is New York Empire feeling confident as ever. They currently lead at the moment going into round 2.
Where there is a will, there is a way. I like that very much. Thank you to Richard Vogel. Thank you very much to Rosie Turner as well, giving us some reactions, some thoughts from the New York Empire team, powered by Lugano Diamonds. They will be last to go, if the wind will allow me to turn my page over. There has been a double horse change for New York Empire, and Freddie Tabaka will talk to us about those changes in a few moments' time. But both Scott Brash and Richard Vogel making horse changes. One of the many, many changes that have taken place throughout the entire round 2 to come in a few moments. But let's talk about some of those definitive moments. We mentioned this ongoing championship battle between the Stars powered by the Iron Dames and Stockholm Hearts powered by H&M We Love Horses. Let's start with Stars because they definitively hit back at their closest championship rivals after watching the Stockholm Hearts struggle, and we'll show you those struggles in a few moments' time. The Stars powered by the Iron Dames, Sophie Hinners and Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann delivered arguably a knockout punch. A punch that would make Mike Tyson feel proud, because a response like this showed the very cool mentality, showed the ice in the veins, as Sophie Hinners on Special Life goes on to deliver a crucial clear to open things up. And Jana Fredrika Meyer-Zimmermann on Cornella delivers yet another clear as well, as Stars powered by the Iron Dames produce a sensational double clear. The second best round of the afternoon. That sees them now as the second last team to go. As we said, New York Empire will be the last team to go, and then Kunstars, powered by the Iron Dames, will be second last to go. And regardless of whether or not they go on to win the stage, actually, in fact, regardless of whether or not they even finish inside the top 5, the top 7, because of what has happened to the Stockholm Hearts, the performance from Stockholm, it has given Kunstars a huge amount of breathing space, a huge amount of room. Now let's talk about what's happened to Stockholm Hearts, and let's show you what moment we are referring to. As quite remarkably, both Jessica Springsteen and Nicola Philipparts had a run out on the exact same fence on the Staltorps gate. That will not play a part, by the way, in GCL round 2. Jessica Springsteen having the run out first, and then after having a second bite to the cherry, eventually getting over the fence, what we knew was going to come was going to be a huge amount of time penalties. And the time penalties added up and added up and added up for Springsteen. And unfortunately, she eventually landed up coming home on 29 penalties. Now, you would think, all right, at 29 penalties, something very good needs to come from Nicola Philipparts. And quite remarkably, as we'll show you in a few moments' time, Nicola Philipparts then has the exact same run-out on the exact same fence. And as Fredrik spoke about, well, all of a sudden, Darby the Riverland having that run-out, Cayman having that run-out, and much the same as Springsteen, Philipparts then started to collect a huge amount of time penalties. Springsteen on 29, Philipparts on 16, and because of that, Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M, finishing on 45 penalties. They will be the first team to go, and they will arguably lose the championship fight from here. We head off to Rome, to Circa Massimo, in a couple of days' time for the penultimate stage of the 2024 season. And the question now is just how close to that championship victory are Kunstars after what has taken place with the Stockholm Hearts today in that opening round. Fredrik de Backer is standing by for us to give us some idea on the changes. Well, Fredrik de Backer, welcome back to the show. We spoke earlier about a dramatic round 1. Let's talk about round 2. Let's talk about the phone calls that have been made, the messages that have been exchanged. What teams have done what, and what major changes do we see from GCL round 1 to GCL round 2?
Well, let's start straight away with Stockholm Hearts. Philippart stays in, he goes to Luna, but Springsteen goes out, and that means that Antoine Herman comes in. That is, a change that is logical. Not the best feeling on Cayman, so give Antoine Herman a chance to run. Then we need to go and look at the teams that are really relevant for the top 4, of course. And then we're looking at Doha Falcons, where Michael Pender goes... Oh, sorry. Where Michael Pender... the papers can't stay straight. Where Simon Lester comes in, and Michael Pender stays with HHS Calais, so he's going to jump 2 rounds. For Valkenswaard, it is Coolio who comes in with Marcus Ening. Tops Alexander stays on, but she does go to fellow Castlefield. And then, of course, at the last page, in fact, the most important page, it's a kind of a remarkable decision. Anna Kalnerova comes in with Catch Me If You Can OLD Confident, and the mare, who has shown good form over the last few weeks, is capable of carrying this across the line. De Vos, he goes to Naskar van het Siamshof. Then Riesenbeck International, there is a change for Philip Weishaupt. He goes not to Kobe, doesn't stay with Kobe, but goes to Mescorial, where Philip Schulze-Tophoff stays with Carla NLW. A horse change that was expected with Kunstars, where Sophie Hinners goes to now My Prince, but... and that's a big but, Mark. It is Cornella who stays on for the second round with Janne Frederike Meyer-Zimmermann. That means no Konkidam, no Sanatese in this round. That is somewhat of a surprise for me. And we all heard already before the changes that New York Empire are going to do with Scott Brash and Vogel staying on the team, but both riding different horses. So, Anna Kalnerova comes in for the Prague Lions. There is a horse change for Riesenbeck, and Cornella is going to jump her first meter 60 class in a very, very long time. But of course, they have got that margin, so this is the perfect moment to give Cornella that experience and that outing here in the second round of GCL for the Kunstars, powered by Iron Dames.
All right, Freddie Tabaka, thank you very much, giving us some highlights and some of the major changes today to look forward to in GCL round 2. I see Edwin Tops-Alexander having a horse change. No surprise there from Corelli to fellow Castlefield. And perhaps even less of a surprise is Marcus Eining. And Julio comes in for Valkenswaard as well. They still too firmly in the conversation for that top 4. Looking at Prague Lions, looking at Riesenbeck International, looking at the Doha Falcons as well, as we said. Mikey Pender coming in. HS Calais and Simon de Lestre. Now all of a sudden there we see Jérôme Guéry moving out, Simon de Lestre coming in. Also been a fantastic summer, by the way, for Simon de Lestre. I am Lucina, no surprises there for him coming through as well. And yet another change for Lorenzo De Luca, this time a horse change from Don Vito. Denver de Talma now makes his way in. A whole bunch of changes, in fact, a change across the board for every single team in some fashion, whether it be rider or horse change. So a lot having taken place from GCL round 1 to GCL round 2. The big question now is, what have they been walking? Course walk officially underway. Right over my shoulder, all of the riders are now busy measuring their strides. What's been set up by Uliana Vezzani from round 2. Now the big question is the gate still involved? We thought so. Is it yes or no? Freddie Tabaka, we come back to you again for some confirmation. Let's talk about GCL round 2 course design. What has Vezzani set up?
He's brought in a few lines with a lot of options. We'll start walking. It's a big ring and there's a lot to discuss. This is a 13-round course for this second round, Mark. And it already starts at the first line. You can do 8, you can do 9. Option, do you add or do you leave out? Does it affect the next line? Of course, that is 9 strides. Then you've got the rollback. And then just want to show it from afar. You've got to jump that black double combination. Now we know that black rails always jump difficult. The black double combination there behind the Iron Dames family, 2 strides. Then we move over to the Ace of Spades, which could be an approach on 8, but also an approach on 7. And then it is a long loop to a very tall global champions vertical, which sits indeed at the far side. And then we come, actually, we're already at, where are we? We are, I think, at fence 6, yeah, because 7 actually. Then we come to fence 8, and then we come into the last technical bit. You have to talk a lot about colors as well as we progress through this course. If I would ask 100 people on the street what is a favorite of Uliana Vezzani, I'm sure that 80% would answer a double combination of 2 verticals on a half open stride, and that's exactly what he's given them. Here we are at fence 8. There is fence 9 in the Delft blue. I hope that's correct. Delft blue colors. It's a very forward 6 to get a lot of swing. The big striding horses have got a lot of room to get a good approach and then get those 6. So you're actually thinking, okay, the 6 are long, but with the approach, I can really go for it. You have to make sure that you don't get a jump too flat, but you also have to make sure that you protect the front rail. You can't just come racing at it. So you need to get quite a big swing over this Oxer into the combination of Delft blue. And then there is a rollback there to the houses. Now, I don't know what you're seeing when we look at the houses, but the front rail actually sits a little bit over the back rail. Keep in mind that what you see as front rail is actually the back rail. I'm making this very, very confusing. In any case, we're jumping it in this direction, and the rail most to us, in my opinion, is slightly lower. So that's a very square Oxer and very difficult to judge for the horses. There is a little bit of bend in that line. As you can see, this is the center line. Sorry, I'm really making life hard for my cameraman. This is the center line, but if you then look where we need to go to, yeah, there's quite a bit of bend, so you can get an outside 8 in this combination if you're sitting on a big striding horse. I don't know what this is called, Mark. I don't know if you're there, and I don't know if you can answer me. What is this called, this person? Hofnar is the Dutch word. Mark, how do you call this in English? A joker?
Is it the joker? Is it the joker?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah,
I'll go with the joker.
I think it's what riders would also call a joker fence. Yeah.
Yeah. So we refer to this as a joker. What is actually Hofnar Matinata? Apparently, it's a theater here in the city of Valkenswaard. Who would know? It's a theater here in Valkenswaard. Off we go. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. By the way, I was talking to you, Mark, about those colors. This is a difficult fence to jump. Very difficult colors to judge really well. There's not too much room in here. Not too much room in here, but with the bend in the line that approaches, that's okay. then we'll talk about the colors of Vincent van Gogh. If I would ask 100 people on the street which painter cut off his ears, I do hope that 100 will answer me that it was Vincent van Gogh. This is his self-portrait. I think it's a fantastic fence to look at. At the self-portrait, so the question now is the ear on or is the ear off? I have no clue. This ear is full, but Van Gogh cut off his own ear. I think here he cut it off already. Let's focus, jeez. Yeah, fence 12, the rails, difficult to jump. The tricky part is, Mark, that this is the penultimate fence. And if you just turn around, everything here comes in the turn. So you never get straight because, yeah, this is still on the turn and you have to go that way. You will jump this on the turn. Keep an eye out for horses that jump to the inside because riders don't keep them straight, or horses that will drag it down.
All right, Freddie de Backer, we seem to have lost you there. And we lost him as I was about to say to him that Frederick and I need to organize a Sunday afternoon, or at least we're going to be here for the LGCT Grand Prix, a Monday afternoon trip to the Van Rijks Museum up in Amsterdam to try and see more Vincent van Gogh if we want to get better educated. Frederick, when are you available to come to Van Rijks Museum with me? Make sure that we get all the real Van Gogh. That's the big question. I will try and hold him to that, try and make an appointment out of it. We're making light, silly jokes here ahead of GCL round 2. A lot of big, important action to come here. And the big question now is Riesenbeck International. We spoke about them a little bit earlier on. They have been in very good form in GCL round 1. Philipp Schulze-Tophoff and Philipp Weishout both jumping clear. They will be very late to go. In fact, the third last team to go. Only teams after them will be Kunstars and then New York Empire, the leaders. That's how it stands now. The 3 double clears and Riesenbeck International, powered by Kingsland Equestrian, will be the third last team to go. So let's talk to Philipp Weishout. Let's see about that horse change. Remember, no Kobe in round 2. Let's get some thinking behind the horse change. Let's get some thoughts to how GCL round 2 is going to play out. Rosie Turner is alongside Philipp Weishout.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. I'm alongside Philip. Sorry, we're just chatting about other things here. But Philip, it's all about the course currently that we want to talk about. Frederick's just done a course walk and walked it for us. But what are your views on it?
Yeah, it's a challenging class. Second round, it's warm weather. Some of the horses jumping 2 times, like our horses. We're taking the same horses. Big jumps. Yeah, difficult ring anyway here in Valkenswaard. But I hope we can manage it.
Well, it's the 2 Philips going up alongside each other today. And I was talking to other Philip about it all and just saying that it is tough, but you're still in that top 4. This is a crucial stage for you.
Yeah, we have to start pulling it up and starting delivering clear rounds. The amount of clear rounds we had this year compared to the other years is a margin. So we have to really start to get better and deliver the clear rounds. Then you're always somewhere in the front. First round worked out well. We had both of us were clear, and now we just try to do the same thing again.
And what are the horse changes in going into this?
No changes, no change of riders, no change of horses. We had that strategy a lot last year. It worked out always well. This way we have changed a lot forward and backward. It didn't go so well for us, so this time we keep our strengths from last year.
Was that always the thought coming into today, was no changes, or have you decided that after round 1?
No, it was from the beginning the idea. We have the best 2 5-star horses we have here at the show. We have in both rounds.
You've also got Ludger here as well, your team manager. How much advice has he been giving you into this weekend?
It's always good to have him, you know, with his experience. It's always good to have him here, and we walk the course together, and I'm sure he will be here also in the warm-up. He knows my horse really well, and I hope he can help me a little bit.
Philip, it's a crucial one for the 2 boys, the 2 Philips going together with Riesenbeck International. Thank you. I wish you the best of luck. Mark, let's see how they go.
Right, thank you very much to Rosie Turner. Interesting, we thought there was a horse change for Philipp Weishout. Mascodel coming in for Kobe. So let's see what exactly is going to be the outcome for Riesenbeck. And dare I say, some of the wind begins to pick up and some clouds starting to develop overhead. There was a bit of rain predicted for later this afternoon. And if that were to follow through, I wonder how that might impact some of the riders, the teams, in fact, that are coming up later on in the starting lineup. The likes of Riesenbeck, Cannes and New York Empire. We'll keep an eye on the weather. You keep an eye on the ring and the performances of GCL round 2. It comes up next here live on GCTV, live from Valkenswaard.
of the tour, part of the league. And so one of the crown jewels in that crown, that is the tour, the global champions, as you wish. We are minutes away from the first rider in the speed class that will function as a Grand Prix qualifier. We split it up in two parts. There is, by the way, Alice van Himbergen, who is one of the organizers, the event director here at the Tops International Arena. So I was saying we split this up in 21 individuals, and then we have got a group of 28 team riders, team contenders, over the scores built by Ujana Vedzani. 87 seconds would be the time allowed. That is what Vedzani has put down. That is what we'll have to work with. It's a long course, 13 fences, but 87 feels very long, to be fair. As that dog is enjoying a bottle of water. It's been a bizarre day. Started very windy, fear for rain, and now it's actually quite warm. It's even hot. Hot on the feet of these two, Jessica Springsteen and Nicola Philippart. They haven't had the best day. The team Stockholm Hearts sit last at the moment. And they are nearly handing the victory in the championship title. There's Vedzani in the background, handing it to the Can Stars with their last place, and they're actually not in a position to move away from that last place. In the background there, Ujana Vedzani, smart move from our cameraman to spot him. Here, the South Grandstand. Two huge grandstands here in Valkenswaard. The South Grandstand filling up really nicely for this qualifier, and then the second round of Global Champions League. No Michael van der Vleuten in the team class. With O'Bailey, he competes as individuals. Same for Dennis Lynch. And then individuals with Fuchs, Watley, Jochems and Houtsager. Stout as well, and then Fernando Martinez. Sommer, Giri Onkareka out of the team. Jean Sadrano duties for Shanghai Swans. Duffy not for Rome Gladiators. Van Asten, then Tovek, Smolders, Gaudiano. And then we meet Springsteen, Thijssen and Hochstadter. Lazarus has stepped off Valkenswaard. And Jane Richard and Lars Kersten is the last of the individuals. From there on, we enter the team competitions. With, at the end, some interesting changes in terms of horses or riders. Weishaupt goes to Mescorial, at least that's what the start list says. We also heard rumors that he would stay to Kobe, but that has not been confirmed. And the first time that Scott Brash is going to bring out Chadora Lady for the big class. That'll be the first big class that the mare is going to jump. There is Christoph Zimmermann and Janner Federica Meyer Zimmermann, husband and wife, and Friedrich should also be around. Their young son, who absolutely adores running across the big grass ring here in Valkenswaard. That's not Friedrich, by the way. That is Erik Berkhoff, man behind the Audi stables of Margaretha Hoeve, the man behind Kim Emmons' success of late. And that is Michael van der Vleuten. He is on O'Bailey van het Brouwershof NOP. And Vleuten this weekend, no team duties. And how did his teammates do, you might ask? Well, Madrid in motion on 4 penalties. They will be 6th to go in the second round of jumping here. Just after the break, they will go. There is Father Eric. Looks a bit nervous. Eric van der Vleuten with the groom, Magnus Groom, alongside. Praised and celebrated, of course, Van der Vleuten following his Paris feat, his Paris medal. There's no man who is posing for more selfies than Michael van der Vleuten. De Luca, Zimmerman, in the background, I think. Did we see Derry Demirsoy? I think so. Vleuten with O'Bailey. Difficult qualifier it was. Out in London they failed to qualify. Eight strides to the Oxer. There's an option for 9 if you're on a small striding horse. This is also 9 from the bonsai to launching. And then you have to land fairly quick in order to make and not to lose too much time. 7 into the combination. And there's actually an 8 and he goes on 7. And then closes the stride for the upright of launching Global Champions Tour. Now it's a fairly long 6 from the top international auction to the double. And after leaving out that stride to the big Liverpool Oxer, he actually got the 6 very easy. Eight into the double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Delicate fence to jump and it's down. Delicate fence to jump and it is down. And ooh, and the disappointment rolls from the South Grandstand as Van der Vleuten comes home inside the time allowed with 4 penalties. 81.17. Vleuten, that is the Oxer. And the approach next to the combination, and then afterwards on 7 strides. Difficult to get straight for that Van Gogh upright. Back. With Lynch on Vistogrant, also a horse that covers the ground easily. Whoa. And again, opening up. Two strides, is a little bit running now, Vistogrant. Lynch has him back on the control and back on his hind leg. Here's the stallion, a lot of length. And he even has to hold for the 6 now into the combination. Van der Vleuten wasn't clear. And Lynch is faster. And now waits. Doesn't let him run into that combination. He doesn't have much room inside the double either. This is where Van der Vleuten was faulted at Van Gogh's. Now comes quite on the angle. And a push. And the body language says, get over. It is 74.18 seconds for Dennis Lynch and for Vistogrant. It is the first clear. Martin Fuchs is already in. He had a bit of a technical issue, we heard, in the warm-up with a broken martingale, but that got sorted in no time. He's on Commissar Pezzi. Commissar Pezzi, who is by Commissario and Bokmans Lord Pezzi. Luigi Baleri is the owner. Oh, nice at the first vertical. And then on the line, I think he sat on the inside line. The launch knocks her down. Now good reaction from Commissar Pezzi through the double. Leaves out the stride. Doesn't override Global Champions League. Comes a bit to the inside at the takeoff. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Slows down just in time, stretches well. 7 to the paintbrush of Van Gogh. Goes a bit wider to secure the final fence on 4 penalties in this Grand Prix qualifier. And Martin Fuchs is in. It's 4 penalties in 80.16 seconds, just in front of Van der Vleuten. 4 penalties in general is sufficient to qualify for a jump off, at least, sorry, for the Grand Prix. Gregory Watley is on Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit de 20. Jumped a good clear in the warm-up last night. And has jumped his first 5-star Grand Prix out in Dinard. Stepping up into the bigger level now, this Fahrenheit, who is by Conedo Wolenski and Credo de Paustra, French stallion, French approved 9-year-old. And we know what Watley can do with Conedo Wolenski offspring. Think back of his famous mare Corée, show jumping celebrity. The 6 come much nicer than expected. Time-wise is not at the pace of Lynch. Watley is just guiding him through this qualifier without pushing for a placing. Aiming to get a nice clear. And so far so good with only 1 fence left to jump. Fahrenheit de 20, and last fence goes. That's an unlucky run for Gregory Watley, or it was a good run with an unlucky finish. The Belgian on Fahrenheit, a youngster, just drops early on the back rail of that black oxer away from the in-gate. Good looking horse, this Fahrenheit. And it's just on top of it. Doesn't even cut the safety cups. It bounces and then rolls. Steady 8, Camilla van der Helle and Kevin Jochems. Oh, deep, and did you see how that front end worked? Jochems is confident about her. there by Crumble and Casal. Quiet and controlled into the double. Nobody overrides that double, which I thought some would do. In on 8, out he goes. Where are we time-wise? Lynch leads 74-180. He's not as fast as Lynch, but he is still clear. There's Kevin Jochems. Oh, and she kind of misjudges, as if she thought that, oh Kevin, that's not necessary, as if she, oh Kevin, that's not needed, as if she thought that it was over, that she was already there. And then completely dropped the focus. Didn't have her in front of his leg. Houtzager is next, Mark Houtzager with Sterrehof's Dante. Two very experienced horses here is Houtzager in Dante and in Calimero. Starts with a tight turn in a good rhythm to the Liverpool. Bit strong there, deep to that Oxford and 2 strides out. Leave out again to that very wide Liverpool Oxer. Vezzani in both 5-star courses today. No planks. Oh, and she gets strong again as she drags Houtzager close to the double. Houtzager, whose young daughter Liz was crowned Dutch pony champion earlier today. So it's been a successful weekend for Mark and his wife Julia Houtzager-Kaiser. The 4 penalties into the Hofnar double. And the finish 75.90. Where does he go? The time puts him in 2nd place. He is 2 seconds, just under 2 seconds slower than Dennis Lynch. Lynch, however, is the only one on clear at this point. We've seen 6 riders and 1 has gone clear. Vezzani. The course is on as stout, has a small jump over the vertical. And then, oh, and then the stride, the line gets too long for Kevin Stout with Diallo Blue PS. Winner of the previous speed class. Flying 7 to the double. He's trying to post a very fast 4. The higher he places, the later he can start in the Grand Prix qualification. Oh, drifting a bit in that line, trying to correct and to steer. Safe, stable. Well, the early 4 for Stout at the 2nd fence are on the board. In, goes out. It's a high pace that he's riding at this Kevin Stout. It's going to be much quicker, I feel, than Dennis Lynch. Finish coming up. on just 4 penalties, and in the end he's not that much faster than Dennis Lynch, who had the bigger striding Vistogram to ride, of course. 74.05 for Stout with 4 penalties. Lynch was clear in 74.18. He was a touch long, and that gentleman in the background had the best view. Joop under the saddle of Fernando Martinez Sommer. No team duties for him. He's being replaced by Anna Kelnerova. Over at Liverpool with Joop. Would Joop become his mount for the Grand Prix of tomorrow, or is he going to opt for Lady in the end? And he gave him a bit of room, more than the others. Joop hasn't got the largest stride. It's a normal striding horse. And then if you're on the bend, you can get a bit of room on 8 steps. Fernando Martinez Sommer, last fence, 80.03. Just like Gregory Watley. Last fence gone for Fernando Martinez Sommer with Joop. How did that fault come about? What was the origin for Joop to take that down? Did not see it coming. And maybe here it might be a touch too long, and that he has to push to make sure that he has got he's got the back rail covered, and then he punches the front rail out. Next man in is Jérôme Guéry, and Guéry is on Carreca LS after his round in round 1 for Doha. Valkens can now compete as individual rider. The Belgian with Carreca. Steady through the turn, a lot of bend in that approach, and then could slow down for the vertical. Got a special style of jumping. He's very athletic, he's very twistable, turnable, you could say. Sometimes he makes you think of Bingo, of Daniel Deusser, who did fantastic things here on this grass ring. Guéry on the rail in the black double combination. Also on 4, still only Dennis Lynch with the clear round. 9 rounds now jumped, only the clear from Dennis Lynch. Stout with the fastest 4, and Guéry isn't slow either, 79.08. When they have those early faults, it's always difficult to judge and gamble right. Do you speed up and risk an extra rail? Was not what Guéry did. Guéry stayed steady and secured the 4 penalties. 79.08 was a different situation for Stout, who had an early fault and then rode 74.05, the fastest round so far. Jean Sadran and Cosmo van Hofterbone is our 10th contender, 21 individuals, then the team riders. Secures as also Cosmo drifted a bit in that line. We've seen a few horses do that now. And pace-wise, she's not that much behind on Dennis Lynch. There's a few difficult jumps still to jump. Screams at Cosmo to stretch for the back rail, then gets a good shot at the vertical. Nearly didn't finish the jump with the hind end. Jean Sadran is still clear, not as fast as Dennis Lynch, but takes second place as Father Olivier jumps up and down on Kiss and Cry. Jean Sadran puts herself in a good position for the Grand Prix. Second place for Cosmo Hofterbone and for Jean Sadran. The Paris Grand Prix winner is part of the elite group. That's what I mean with jumping up and down. Nearly dislocates Simon Lesper's shoulders there. Now this is Michael Duffy with Calypso de Beaufour. Fairly new mount for him, and looking to ride his first 5-star Grand Prix with the Calypso tomorrow. 2 clears at the moment, all the rest on 4 penalties. Jumpable track is what you could say, and so far faults on different locations, like here in the combination. Is Duffy riding with something like a cast around his left hand, or no? It looked for a moment, but it's not the case. Duffy now the double. Gentleman photobombing the shot of our cameraman. Another one that kind of drifts in the combination. Left hand turn. Holding on 8, and he had that outside curve. Now trying to balance Calypso de Beaufour, keep him on the hind leg, the front end up and light, and he's jumped it clear in 75.91 seconds, and that is faster than Jean Sadran, that is slower than Dennis Lynch, and hence it is second place. Michael Duffy, Calypso de Beaufour, qualified for tomorrow's Grand Prix. Standings with Lynch, Duffy and Sadran producing the 3 clears. Tomorrow that indeed will be the first 5-star Grand Prix for Duffy with Calypso. Calypso who on the tour jumped the Monte Carlo Grand Prix with Jonna Ekberg. Here's Sirocco with home rider Matthijs van Asten. Sirocco by Balou du Rouet and Hidam. Little rattle there. Sirocco who jumps on the Launching Global Champions Tour with Sheikh Ali Al Thani and with Bassem Mohammed. But with Van Asten, some good results in thermal at the beginning of the season back in the States, where he spent the winter. Aston now working well through that combination, not really challenging Lynch. Nearly 3 seconds behind on the Irishman, on the Irish pair, you should say, because it's Lynch 1 and Duffy 2. And Van Asten steady clear, that puts him in the Grand Prix and in a good position for the Grand Prix. 77.46. He is more than 3 seconds slower than Lynch, but that doesn't really matter for Matthijs van Asten. The brother of Leopold has gone clear. Leopold van Asten, who in fact won the very first launching Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Valkenswaard with VDL Group Flèche Rouge. Evelina Torvik, Azaria Dinero came off the team of Scandinavian Vikings. Oh, and she gets too deep to the upright, and so early four for Torvik. Now we know that this is a fast horse and a fast rider. Line to the upright, nearly dropped his shoulder over that vertical. Round she comes. Final sector, one more loop. And it's not so much about only finding the fitting point of takeoff and going through the curve and on the outside line. You also have to slow down after this very fast part, very fast first part of this qualifier. Torvik 4 penalties, 75.72. Where does she go? She goes behind Kevin Stott. It is the second fastest on 4. Evelina with Azaria Dinero. That should do for the Grand Prix of tomorrow, because in this class we've got 49 riders competing. That means that 9 will not make the cut. Torvik is now 6th and 13 have jumped already. So she has 7 behind her at this point. That'll do for Evelina Torvik.
Series champion for the second time in his career last year, riding Monaco MOP here with us today. For the Netherlands, Olympic behind the sponsors.
Harry Smulders rides Monaco, and he goes for the additional stride on 9 to the bonsai trees. Additional stride here as well. Only few have done it. I think even that Smulders is the first to ride the additional strides. Oh, and then he stays low. He was flirting with the time of Dennis Lynch, as you can see, and that even with added strides. That's how efficient Monaco is and how smart Smulders is on his turns. but it will not be the lead because it's 4 penalties. And then we're looking at the fast fours. There's Kevin Stout on 74.05. There's the finish of Smulders, and he's there at 75.06. And so he goes into 6th place. Harry Smulders with Monaco and OP. Did he run the extra stride into the combination? Did he do 7 instead of 6? Let's see that back. This is the Oxer Tops International Auction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Apologies. No, also on 6. It looked like he had him well sorted, but he didn't get the jump that he was hoping for. Emanuele Gaudiano and Nicolai de Music are off in the qualifier, and that is what we call a leave out. The forward approach, no question about it. 8 instead of 9. Roll back. Oh, and a hard fault on the turn as he comes from the Liverpool into the line of the double. And now Nicolai slightly hesitant. He was also up on the clock compared to Dennis Lynch. Nicolai dragging Gaudiano past the distance into the combination. Here again, Gaudiano needs to be stronger than he wants to be. The finish on 8, 74.97. That makes him the first to finish on a score higher than 4 penalties, and so he goes last after the first 15. That's Emanuele Gaudiano. Does he have to fear to qualify for that Grand Prix? Nine will not make it. Jessica Springsteen and Cayman de Potozet. Springsteen not with the easiest round earlier in Global Champions League round 1 with his son of Callado. Now looking for a good result. And it's an early 4 with the hind leg at the front rail. Similar fault that she had in the first round coming into the double of Oxers. And there, that fault happens again. And slightly less pace, more balance, and then really brings his hind end up. Don't forget, he's just 9. There's Cayman. Learning the traits. I believe this is only his second meter 60 class. The 12-footer outside of the Grand Prix at the moment. Jumped 1 meter 60 class in Wellington in the beginning of the season, in March, end of March. And now here, his second, which he finishes on 12 penalties. Cayman de Petot and Jessica Springsteen. 12 penalties for the American pair. He makes the right action. At this point in his career, he doesn't do it fast enough yet. Springsteen and Cayman. Enthusiastic cheers for the 2023 Launching Global Champions Tour Grand Prix winner here in Valkenswaard. That is Sanne Thijssen. with Konkidam RB. Sanne, I think the first to start on the right lead. And comes out of the turn fairly slow, doesn't like what she sees and restarts. But look at that, oh, nearly missed the time. She only had 1 second left on the countdown clock. Kept her head cool. And her timing precise but risky. What position can they put themselves in for this Grand Prix? Wow, flies there on 7. Sometimes it looks that you're just passenger in the saddle and that he sees the distance and he takes you there. And here Sanne Thijssen intervenes well, and it's exactly the same like the Grand Prix last year. It's exactly the same like last year, where she holds and she's a bit too strong and he drops off the bridle and he stalls and then he jumps the combination in ways that are just impossible. Find the 7 differences compared to last year. Well, the only difference is that last year he jumped clear when it was the Grand Prix, and now he's not clear in the qualifier, but he'll be in the Grand Prix based on this very fast 4. Sanne Thijssen and Konkidam, 4 penalties and fast. This is all standard. Oh, and then nearly he drops off, then he stalls. It was not in this one. This is the fold, but actually it was the double combination that it was all about, going into that double of uprights. The start for Jennifer Hochstetter, 21-year-old with the Golden Lady. And if I'm not mistaken, Golden Lady didn't jump yesterday. So first round for Golden Lady this weekend. And actually another one by Cassini Gold out of a Cavalier mare, Dutch bred, Stoeterij de Huurne bred, Golden Lady. Cassini Gold, who also sired Imagine of Kim Emmen. Behind Lynch on the time, says the split. Steady over the upright. Is that clear? Number 5, Jennifer Hochstetter is clear. Time-wise 77.69, just a touch faster than Jeanne Sadran. And so Hochstetter is 4th, Sadran is 5th. And that is a clear for Golden Lady and Jennifer Hochstetter. That was not much. The Delestre family happy with the clear. The very active stride of Combaltago PS and Oliver Lazarus. I love how this horse can sit on its hind end and get its front end light. Still fairly fresh, though this is his 2nd round, Combaltago. Plenty of energy. ridden 8, very even, ridden 8 strides. There's riding 8 strides, holding for 4 and then pushing for 4, or the other way around. But that is a virtue that I really appreciate in riders. If you can ride a line in even strides. Still clear. Lazarus, slower than the times of Lynch, Duffy, and probably also Van Asten and Hochstatter. The time allowed is 87, and that will not be a problem. And that's a clear, and a good one. 81.29. He's the slowest of the clears, but he's maneuvered himself in a good position for tomorrow's Grand Prix. He's 6th at the moment, Oliver Lazarus with Combaltago. That's the upright at 7. Of Global Champions League. And plenty of cheers. Families here as well. I believe I saw his mother. Here we see Jane Richard with Eclipse de Vesquerie. Eclipse by Chaco Rouge and Verdi, a French bred. Eclipse is 10, the mare. Yeah, rattled the first and then hard faults. Oh, and then she wants to ride the 8th stride, which comes fairly late. I have to say the wind is picking up and dark clouds come rolling in. Expected heavy winds and strong rain as well. Or is it strong winds and heavy rain? And that's what's coming this way. 12 penalties for Jane Richard in her first Grand Prix qualifier with this horse. 16 penalties to score, and that is 20th place out of 20 riders at the moment. In the group with Gaudiano Springsteen, now Jane Richard, the bottom 3 at the moment, and those that have to fear for their position in the Grand Prix. At this point, you even have to fear for your position if you are on 4 penalties. Lars Kersten is there with his stallion Funky Fred van het Marienshof. Just like Ferromas van Beekosje, Thomas Funky Fred is by Fantomas de Muse. Fantomas was by Sandro Boyo out of Cordula de Lopry. Not as fast as Lynch, we've said it a few times already. Not as fast as Lynch, however, still unclear. Now in the background you can see the dark clouds, sky, dark blue, grey. Now on the mind of Lars Kersten with Funky Fred. He's 2 fences from home and he's still clear to qualify for the Grand Prix here in Valkenswaard. Kersten is clear and it's 80.73. It's a slow clear, but it's 6th place just in front of Oliver Lazarus. And so Lars Kersten tomorrow will jump his 3rd consecutive Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix in Valkenswaard. In 22 with Emerton, last year with Halilea, and now probably with Funky Fred. Standings and clears: Lynch, Duffy, Van Asten, Hoogstatter, Sadran, Kersten, and also unclear but on this board is Oliver Lazarus. With that, we hope we keep it dry, we close the line and we go into Global Champions League round 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Valkenswaard for round 2 of the Global Champions League stage here at the Longines Tops International Arena. Valkenswaard in the Netherlands, land of bicycles, land of cheese, land of tulips and flowers. That's how we know the Dutch here at the lowlands. Canoeing, I don't know, but there's always a lot of water in the Netherlands. That is true. Poffertjes were those, the pancakes, the small pancakes called poffertjes. It says it's cloudy. I am afraid it is going to rain quite soon. It is 23 degrees, it's nice and comfortable. There is a bit of a breeze, but there's actually dark clouds rolling in very fast. These are the previous winners. Valkenswaard has been part of Global Champions League ever since 2016, when the league started, of course. So we've got plenty of winners here, but the home team have never won the home stage just yet. Valkenswaard 3 times second here on home ground, but never a win for Valkenswaard United. United will discuss them in a minute, about their position, about their round 1 position. If we look at the standings, this is the overall standings. United a point in front of Prague Lions, just 6 behind Riesenbeck and 8 behind Doha Falcons. So they are 6 points behind the safe zone for the top 4. Did you also see the 22-point gap between Can Stars and Stockholm Hearts? I'm sure you did. Well, they're further down. Warriors down to Monaco Aces. And these are the highlights about what happened in Global Champions League round 1, the qualifier, the round 1 that took place earlier today. Started with the Prague Lions. They were the first team to go, and it was a late rail for Fernando Martinez Sommer and Lady van der Harderhoeven. Luckily the Vos kept it clear, and the team led obviously, as they were the first to go on just a single rail. How good was that result? That was difficult to judge until the second team came in, the Doha Falcons. A fault at the back rail of the Oxer, and a Guéry with Carreca LS came through the turn and added another one to it. In the end, Doha Falcons would come out on 12 penalties and sit 8 rails, or 2 rails and 8 penalties behind their rivals of Prague Lions. And then the team that had to rival for the championship with the Can Stars, Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M Wheel of Horses, Jessica Springsteen on the 9-year-old Cayman, hasn't jumped the Staltops gate, and a run out for the gelding, plus plenty of time penalties, put Jessica Springsteen on 29. But luckily, you can count always on Nicolas Philippas, can you not? the run out also for Derby de Riverland on the very same fence. Then add some jumping faults to it, and that would all add up and total to 45. And Stockholm Hearts sit last and wouldn't move away from last place. Is this being handed to CanStars on a silver platter? Kind of seems so. Them, Valkenswaard, the home team. After the rail of Tops Alexander, it was a total of 8 for each for Tops Alexander and for Oliver Lazarus. And then Riesenbeck International with Philipp Schulze-Tophoff and with Philipp Weishaupt. With the results at that point of all of the rivals, this could turn out to be an interesting stage for Riesenbeck. They haven't won a stage just yet. First the clear of Schulze-Tophoff, then the clear of Weishaupt. And so Riesenbeck on double clear. And Riesenbeck in the end would be third, would finish third. Dark clouds indeed, look at that. Rain is coming in, ladies and gentlemen, and that is going to make this second round even more epic. With the CanStars also sitting on double clear, and New York Empire also with the fastest from round one. There you have it. 3 clears from round one, 3 fours from round one, including the Prague Lions. They're in a good position, and the stage could throw the top 4, top 5, top 6 completely on its head. Further down at the bottom of the stage, not that much of the championship, not that much will happen, but don't be surprised if we have a completely different top 4 after the 13th stage in Global Champions League. This is the course. It's built by Ojano Vezzani. Starts at fence 1, and then we have got 8 or 9 strides. That all depends, as wind is now really picking up here in Valkenswaard. We're out and unexposed, really hard winds now. So 8 or 9 strides to fence 2, then 9 strides to fence 3. Vertical on the rollback is next to jump, and then you've got 7 strides into the double combination. Combination of Oxer, 2 strides, and next is the vertical. Plenty of meters, 1160 actually in that combination, so it's actually a long 2. And then you can do 7 or 8 to a huge Liverpool Oxer. There's the slightest dogleg in the approach. Then 7 strides to the upright of Global Champions League. And then it's quite the gallop into an interesting line. When you just walk it, it is actually a fairly open 6 strides into the double of uprights, but with the pace that they already have and the long approach that they can also provide to the Tops International Auction Oxer, the 6 actually get very normal into the double of uprights of the Delft's Blue, as it is called. We're not home just yet. There's 13 fences to jump. Roll back to the Amsterdam houses. And Amsterdam houses are followed by another double combination, also a slight dogleg in there. You can move to the outside to find your outside 8 to the Hofnar double. After the Hofnar double, 7 to Vincent van Gogh. And it's not over just yet, because then right by the in-gate, just past the in-gate, is fence number 13, the fence of global champions. Big Oxer to jump as well at the final fence. 13 fences, time allowed of 87 seconds. With double combinations aplenty in this round of jumping. This shot does not really do the weather conditions justice. There's a bit more clouds and wind. Let's have a look at the starting order. Stockholm Hearts go first here in Valkenswaard with a score of 45. Erman has come in to replace the unfortunate round of Jessica Springsteen. Then it is Scandinavian Vikings. Next is Monaco Aces where horse changes are made by both riders. Ines Joly, Luis Felipe de Acevedo. Also horse changes for Sascha Nygård. However, no rider changes. Robert stays with Iglesias for Istanbul Warriors. Kyle Tim remains with Candarme, and it is Lorenzo De Luca who actually goes to Denver de Talma. The Falcons, Calais stays with Pende de Lestre, goes to I Amelucina, and that means that Jérôme Guéry is off the team. No Lazarus, Coolio comes in for Eining, and fellow Castlefield for Edwina Tops Alexander. Shanghai Swans, where both riders make horse changes. Kühner to Chaco Blue and Pius Schwitzer to Vancouver de Lolo. The team will start on a score of 8, but with emotion start on 4 penalties, where they make horse changes. At least Mark McCauley does. There's no Van der Vleut on the team this weekend. Ana Kelnerova makes her appearance as Fernando Martinez Sommer comes off. The Vos goes to NASCAR, another team on 4. And also Mexico Amigos come in on 4. Carlos Hank and Eduardo Pereira de Menezes. Hank makes horse changes. De Menezes replaces Turturiello. 3 teams on clear. Riesenbeck International, no changes here, I am told, though there is still Mescorial on the start list. Should be Kobe. Then Hinners goes to My Prince, but Cornella is the ride for Meyer. Zimmerman. And then last team to go is Richard Vogel. Vogel and Scott Brash make up that last team. And Vezzani is in the ring. And they're wondering what is now needed. Plans are being blown over. He didn't have a plank in the course, and there's still no rain. Is it going to blow over? But the wind is very intense, ladies and gentlemen. There you can see it. The hair of that lady, she went specially to the hairdresser to be here. Yes, you. And yeah, it's a little bit out of shape, but she is enjoying the atmosphere. And now fence 2 is falling as well. Vezzani is waving at the ground jury to maybe stop the class, because those fences will keep falling. Yeah, this was, they had foreseen a bit of storm, but this is more intense than was actually foreseen. So Antoine Herman is already in the ring, and it's actually only the bonsai fence that falls. That is fence number 2. There, Vezzani in the bright blue shirt. As we watch that fence being rebuilt, we remind you of the results of Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M Wheel of Horses. It was a round of 29 for Jessica Springsteen, and then 16 to be added by Nicolas Philipparts and Derby. He avoided time penalties, but the score was 45, and they need a miracle to not finish last at this stage. And that at a stage where their rivals for the championship, Can Stars, powered by Iron Dames, are double clear and into second. And Can Stars will not win the championship here, but it is likely that Stockholm are going to lose the championship here. You have to give it to the ground crew. What a team down there to put all those fences back up. I think they're going to sandbag the fences. And now the rain is kicking in as well. Very often jealous of these riders about their talents, about the horses they ride. Well, not at this moment. Whoa. There's one of the technicians holding my 3 monitors. The whole table has been blown over, but so far everybody's alive. The forest behind Staltops and the Longines Tops International Arena is perfect to show you how intense the winds are here. Antoine Herman, is he allowed to go back to the warm-up or not? Yeah, there's sandbagging fence 2. Credits to my Italian technician. to keep the material above water, or away from the water, I should say. Fezzani, one more check. Yeah, it's all good. Fezzani says it's good, and Antoine Herman is on course. A bit of a hectic start of this second round of Global Champions League. One day when Jan Top started his launching Global Champions Tour, he said, I want to test the riders on different continents, on different arenas, different surfaces, under different conditions. Well, you can call these conditions apocalyptic, so I guess it's all parts of the game. And there's a rail at fence 3 for Antoine Herman with the Comic Star, the gelding by Levistan. That puts the team total now on 49 as we regain focus. Not easy circumstances for Antoine Herman. Goes quiet into the double of uprights, jumps a good round there. Light and forward, and then he slows down just in time. Gets enough jump out of Comic Star to clear that double. Wow. Herman on 8 and the team on 53. Can you believe that? 53, and then Philippines still to jump, of course. Antoine Herman and Comic Star, well, they've jumped for 8 faults. Not a bad round at all. Certainly not given the circumstances, but if you look at the circumstances of Stockholm Hearts, that's a totally different story and a different situation. The start for Nicolas Philippart. He is on 18M. Luna van het Ruitershof. I saw him briefly during the course walk. He was well disappointed about his own performance, about the team performance. And Philippart is also on an early rail, making that 4 penalties for him, 57 for the team. And now the irony of Roxette blasting through the speakers, the team tune, the team theme, dressed for success. For this weather, no one is dressed. And unfortunately, it doesn't bring success either. Philippart with a single fence. 4 to come home, and it is 4 for him, 77.88, making that the team total now rising to 57. That's the weekend done. That's probably the championship gone. And if the championship gone is for the runner-up, does that mean that the challenger, the leader, is going to be crowned? Well, not officially. It's still possible. Mathematically, it's still possible. Something that you hear very often in football. Mathematically, it's all still possible.
feeling that this is blowing over, which is a good, positive sign for the rest of the evening. It has not been a good, positive sign for the Stockholm Hearts, powered by H&M. We love horses, I'm afraid. 57 penalties. You would imagine a last-place finish in GCL this weekend, and that opens up the title for the Canstars, as Freddy Tabaka has pointed out. Sign up for a GCTV live pass and come join us for the rest of the action here in Valkenswaard. Scandinavian Vikings are next in the ring.